Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I'm the best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best. Yes, it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Hi guys.
أهلا بكم في نيوكاسل مع وليد.
How are
Happy
you?
New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
And I just look location, but it just rained. Happy transfer window. Welcome, Dave.
Great to be here. Great to be back.
So my sound is good now?
Yes.
Because I hear my sound twice.
Well, you were when you came on when we started the show. There was two of you.
Yeah. See, the New Year I have two of my. All right. Happy New Year all. Happy New Year all my friends in Newcastle.
Happy New Year.
It's hopefully 2022. It's gonna be a great year for Newcastle, and hopefully we're gonna have a brilliant year. So we'd like to congratulate. Oh, I have a problem with that. Okay, I have to congratulate. I want to congratulations for our English Greek lad, Jordi lad. Congratulations, mate, for your new passport. And you know, Chris, for me, it's weird. How Greek work last day of the year.
I know it was. Normally, Greece, the bureaucracy is really terrible, and it takes really long to get anything done. So I was surprised that they got me my passport so quickly. But the thing that does work very efficiently in Greece is that we have a male registry. So every man must serve a year in the military if you're a Greek citizen. So as soon as they registered me in the male registry, then my lawyers in Athens got a letter asking me to report to my local military office. But I don't have to serve in the military if I don't live in Greece, and I've never lived in Greece. So I'm all done with my citizenship, but I still have to. Now they're trying to call me into the military, so this is complicating things for the beginning of 2022. I have to prove to the Greeks that I have residency in the UK, which they were waiting on the Greek stuff to give me residency. So it's kind of like a cart and horse type situation. But I'm glad to have finally got this done. It was a 2-year odyssey for me, and now I'm finally a Greek citizen officially. So great.
Yes.
Congratulations.
We are so happy for you, Chris. Dave, how you spent the New Year?
How did I spend the New Year? Had a few gin and tonics, but very quiet. Spent time at home with my wife. But nothing more than that. Very quiet, playing music, having a few drinks, and just waiting for the transfers to come through. He's freezing again.
It sounds like the choppers are coming through. There's like it's apocalypse now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah.
The thing is, I know it's yours and Owley's show, but
yeah, no, go ahead.
If we just there's a thing in the on Sky Sports this morning, and it appears that Everton were the first ones to get a signing done.
Oh, really?
Like, you know, some guy from Dynamo Kiev, Vitaly Mykhalenko. You got a machine gun in the background there, Waleed.
What's that? Sorry,
You got a
it was raining, so I went inside the room. So before I get struck by lightning or something,
But there's like a chopper sound.
you know, I spent 1 hour to set the place, you know, and suddenly when I start the show, it's raining. So
Yeah.
I get stuck. So sorry, mate. Yeah, go on.
You've got some background noise, Waleed.
Can you
Ah,
go?
still?
Yeah, it goes. It's like a like chirping sound.
Like something vibrating.
Yeah, just be in the show. I will try.
Okay. All right, Dave, we're taking over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, with Everton have signed Vitaly Mykhalenko from Dynamo Kiev.
all right,
Ukraine international. He's a centre forward. He's on a
Ah,
forward.
it's still there, I believe.
Oh. Is it annoying?
I think it's your head. Yes,
Yeah.
it's your headphones or something.
Yeah, I think it's your headphones, mate. Yeah.
There you go. It's gone.
Now,
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
good.
Fine. Good. Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Brilliant.
Go on. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Everton. This guy, he says he's Ukraine international, signing a 4.5-year deal. So we've been beaten to the first signing by Everton. So, but looks like he's a. But what I can't understand is how come Everton have actually been able to sign somebody? I thought they were in financial.
Yeah, me too. I thought they were in the financial fair play.
Yeah. So unless they've got him on a free. It doesn't mention any figures, but and that's the only transfer news so far. Other than Sky saying Newcastle are expected to sign Trippier, but that was it. Nothing like that.
So, Ollie, do you have the Stuart James article, the most recent one I sent you this morning?
Yeah, actually, I'm sorry, but I don't hear you very well without my earphones. But I will try to catch up. So this is the last. This is the first article you want to start, Chris?
This is that article is from Dave.
That's the one I sent. That was just for your.
Okay,
you guys.
what's it about?
It's all that's about. It's just telling you what the thoughts are. This Peter O'Rourke, who seems to be an insider. Apparently he knows people, and he's apparently saying that Newcastle are expected to make 2 signings to cover for Callum Wilson, which it would make sense, but he doesn't say who, but he just said that there's a feeling that they're going to make 2 signings, certainly in that role. So we'll see what comes of that.
But he mentioned some players' names.
No, doesn't mention any players' names. So just
I think we should get Tammy Abraham, England striker from Roma, but he obviously he just went there, so it's might be a bit of an ask to bring him back so soon, but maybe on a loan. Waleed, have you got my athletic articles?
Yeah, I will start with that. Just to translate. Okay, هذه المقالة من الصحفي بورغن كليبر. This is football طبعا صحيفة. تكلم عن انه نيوكاسل يعني بشكل مؤكد راح يوقع توقيعين مع عشان يغطون المركز اللي راح يخلفه كيلو ويلسون، لانه كيلو ويلسون تعرض لإصابة وراح يغيب تقريبا 3 شهور. فتقريبا هذه المقالة، يعني انه متأكد انه من صفقتين. طبعا بالنسبة لي يعني ما في شيء جديد في الموضوع، يعني اكيد بنجيب اكثر من كذا يعني اتوقع حتى، لكن ان شاء الله يعني نشوف ننتظر الاعلان. Which article gonna be start with you, Chris?
Do you have the Stuart James why splashing the cast this month maybe easier said than done for Newcastle?
Which journalist?
Stuart James. It's the one I sent you this morning.
The Athletic.
No, I think he didn't have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one. This one.
Yeah.
Yes. Great.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, Stuart James has been talking to a number of agents and club people. One thing he says is that basically the gist of the story is that there's a lot of players who are interested in coming to Newcastle, but the problem with that is that their interest is not coming to a club that's in a relegation battle and could be relegated. So the Stuart James says that the smart money is on Newcastle making a number of loan signings. We are limited to 2 domestic loans, 2 loans from England, and 2 loans from the rest of the world. So look for Newcastle potentially to max out those loans and bring in 4 players on loan, 2 from England and 2 from the rest of the world, because players are good players want to come to Newcastle, but they're hesitant to sign a long-term deal because there's a question of out clauses for relegation. Will they accept if they stay on and they get relegated? Would they accept lower wages, which is normally what happens when you go down to the championship? Your wages are cut, so there's usually a clause in there for relegation wages. So all these complications mean that sort of people want to come to Newcastle. It's a good sign, but the catch is that they don't want to come now when Newcastle's in 19th place in a relegation battle. So looking more towards the summer. So if we can get players in on loan with the option to buy, maybe not the obligation, the option to buy would be the smart money to get four loans in. And then buy them this summer when we're assured of staying up.
But Chris, regarding what he mean by 2 England and 2 from other world, this is just speculation or just?
No, this is the rules. I mean, if we're gonna max out our loans, we could get 4 loans in, 2 from England and 2 from the rest of the world. So the smart money is on us. You know, we're not saying we're going to get 4 loans, but it's saying that, you know, from a loan perspective, that's what we can do to max out our loans. Four loans.
It makes good sense to think that if we get if we can buy a couple of players who we know are committed, but other players, I think they're talking about Denier from.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things they say about him is it'd be better to take him on loan, because he won't commit to it. He won't commit to a relegation battle if he was to stay all full time. So,
yeah,
Chris said he'd be better off if what he's saying is, yeah, I'll consider coming, but it'll be a case of you must improve first to sign full time.
Yeah, for Luca Dean, I saw, Dave, I don't know if you saw the same thing, is that Everton is hesitant to do a loan deal with Newcastle. They would rather just sell them outright. As you know, per our previous discussion about Everton's financial fair play, they need the cash, so they'd be interested in selling him. It's a question of what would Luca Dean be interested in the transfer, or would he want a loan himself to hedge his bets?
Yeah.
طبعا هذه المقالة طبعا which newspaper كريس؟ أثلتيك صحيفة الأثلتيك تكلمت عن طبعا الكاتب اللي ستوارت جيمس تكلم انه وكلاء الاعمال يعني بشكل عام يقول لك انه لاعبين نيوكاسل لاعبين كثير مهتمين بالانتقال نيوكاسل، لكن الاشكاليه الكبرى انه يعني موضوع الهبوط في العقد. تعرفون اللاعب ممكن يشرط شرط انه اذا لا سمح الله هبط النادي لازم مثلا انتقل او اروح بمبلغ اقل، يعني في شروط كثيره يعني في موضوع الهبوط يحق للاعب يشترط اي شرط. فالمشكله انه لما موضوع الهبوط هو اللي يخرب العقود، يعني هذا حسب كلام هذا الصحفي فعلا يعني واقعي. وتكلم ايضا عن لوكاس دين طبعا لاعب ايفرتون، انه كان احتمال انه ظهير ايسر احتمال ينتقل الى نيوكاسل. طبعا توقعات تتكلم على انه اثنين من يعني ممكن تكون صفقات نيوكاسل لاعبين من انجلترا ولاعبين عاد من انحاء العالم. تقريبا هذا ملخص هذه المقالة. Next article, Chris.
Let's go with the Chris Woff, Newcastle's most complicated transfer window.
Chris Woff?
Woff, not Kieran. No. No,
because I can't see. I need the glasses. That's
yes, this one. Okay, good. Okay, so this is sort of along the same lines as the previous article. It's basically saying that it's not just a question of Newcastle having, being the richest club in the world and having these deep pockets. It's like, what good is all the money is if you can't spend it on players that want to come and teams that will release players. Of course, with each player, most players have a release clause, and so if you just pay that release clause, then it sort of obligates the deal to happen. I don't know, sort of a challenge is to say if you pay the release clause whether there's a club veto or a player veto. I think if you pay the release clause, then that obligates the deal to happen. But beyond release clauses, again, Newcastle has all this money to spend and they want to spend, but they have to have, as we know from the takeover, there has to be a willing buyer and a willing seller. And in a lot of cases, we don't necessarily have the willing seller or the willing player because of this idea that Newcastle is currently 19th in the league and in a relegation battle. And a lot of the players we're looking at are players who are playing at the Champions League clubs but are not getting playing time. So it's a question of, will they trade the Champions League for a relegation battle against the championship? So it's really talking about how there's not a lot of margin for error for these players. We have to go after players that will want to sign for us rather than just trying to chase a wild goose chase for 30 days and then players don't sign for us and we don't get the players in we want. And it's just very complicating, and it just maybe questions whether do we have the right people in making those calls. A lot of pressure will be on Eddie Howe for his recruitment. That he came in when he interviewed, he had a list of players that he was interested in getting. And the question is, can the combination of Eddie Howe, Amanda Nerdad, the temporary director of football, and the scouting chief, can they all agree and then PIF pay for transfers?
طبعا هذه المقالة طبعا من كريس ووف من الأثليتيك. طبعا تحدث على الإصابات حقت ويلسون وسانت ماكسيمن، سوت ضغط كبير. يعني الحين رجعتهم بتكون متأخرة جدا، ففي ضغط كبير الآن إنه جلب اللاعبين. تعرفون اليوم هو أول يوم في سوق انتقالات الشتوية، فكل يوم يمر يوم ضغط زيادة على نيوكاسل. يعني اليوم مثلا ما سمعنا شيء أو خبر إيجابي، هذا ضغط أكثر على نيوكاسل مثلا من الجماهير ووسائل الإعلام. الآن الوضع معقد. طبعا لما يجي توقيع يعني مثلا كرين تريبير، توقعنا مثلا انه خلاص كل شيء، صرنا شهرين نتكلم عن كرين تريبير الظهير الايمن لمنتخب انجلترا وفريق اتلتيكو. يعني يفترض انه نسمع مثلا اليوم نسمع خبر توقيعه، لانه سمعنا احنا طول الفتره الشهرين الماضيه انه اللاعب راح يوقع نيوكاسل. فالحين كل يوم يمر ضغط. فالهدف انه خايفين يعني الجماهير والاعلام انه يعني مثلا تمر ال 30 يوم هذه تمر، او يمر منها جزء كبير ما وقعنا مع اللاعبين اللي احنا نبغاهم او نحتاجهم. يعني قلقين، واضح انه الصحفي كريستوفر قلق على يعني وضع الانتقالات. لسه احنا نقول بسم الله ان شاء الله، طبعا سنة جديدة ان شاء الله، يعني اتوقع ان شاء الله اليوم بتجيب يعني راح يكون في اعلان اتوقع قريب جدا للاعبين ان شاء الله. يعني اتوقع انا اسبوع واحد ان شاء الله يكون في اسمين يعني راح نوقع مع اسمين ان شاء الله.
All right, maybe we should get the
Dave,
other
but Dave, any comments about Dave?
the other Chris Woff article, and then Dave can comment on both of them because they're kind of together.
Okay.
Nope.
No, because I'm doing it in order.
Yes, I know.
No,
The next one after Chris Woff. No.
that's Church Cup.
No. You don't have it.
I think he doesn't have it.
Okay, so
Sorry,
you don't have it talking about Trippier and Butman. Okay, so this is something we can talk about. So obviously we're all expecting our first signing to be Kieran Trippier. It's a player that Eddie Howe is keen on. Sounds like he might have even been suggesting him when he was interviewed, that the guy was one of the guys on this list, because Kieran Trippier did play for Eddie Howe at Bournemouth. So it's a player that Eddie Howe is well familiar with. And sounds like he wants to sign. He wants to come to Newcastle, wants to come back to the Premier League, ready for the challenge. And it's just a question of getting this done. And then talking about Sven Botman, the young defender currently playing at Lille, and in the French Ligue 1, basically saying that this will be a statement signing. This, is a young, very, very talented defender, someone that could fit right into our squad and be a mainstay for 10 years or so. Comparing him to, and Dave can remind me of the Manchester City player who was like their longtime defender. What was the name of the guy? He recently retired. Was kind of
Which team?
Man City. Was kind of like
Company?
The player. Yeah, Vincent Company. Yes, exactly. So they're saying that Botman could be like our Vincent Company, a guy who's there from the beginning of the project and through all the glory years. So hopefully that happens for Newcastle to get Kieran Trippier and Botman, and that would really energize our defense, but also be two very class signings.
Yeah.
So he's comparing Company to Botman, something like that.
Yes, saying that Company was a long time came in at the beginning of Manchester City's project, and that Botman could be that mark, that really statement of intent to say this is Newcastle means business. We're going to sign veteran players with England pedigree like Trippier, but we're also going to sign those young, hungry defenders who are just starting to make a name for themselves. But Sven Botman, when he plays for the Netherlands, I believe, yeah. And so that would be like a real kind of statement signing, because he's wanted by many of the top clubs in Europe. And so for Newcastle to get Sven Botman, we'd be Robin Botman from the rest of the Champions League type side. Yeah.
طبعا هذه المقالة ما عندي الصورة حقتها، لكن تكلم برضو عن كيران تريبير، اللاعب اللي يعني اتوقع ان شاء الله ما يضيع بس اسبوع من وقتنا او اكثر ان شاء الله، يعني انه راح يجي نيوكاسل، بس ننتظر الاعلان. تكلم بشكل اساسي عن مدافع نادي ليل الفرنسي اللي هو الهولندي بوتمان، انه يعني يتوقع انه او يقارنه انه بمستوى جودة بوتمان هذا مدافع يعني يتوقعون انه يكون مثل فينسنت كامباني، يعني كان اللاعب تشيلسي، لاعب مانشستر سيتي طبعا، المدافع وكابتن معروف، اللاعب البلجيكي الدولي. كانوا يعني يتوقعون انه بوتمان راح يؤدي يعني الصفقه هذه راح تكون بمستوى فينسنت كامباني، لاعب منتخب بلجيكا ومانشستر سيتي السابق. طبعا احنا نتمنى يعني طبعا مستوى المدافعين طبعا يحظى بتقييم، يحظى ب يعني في حيره شوي في اختيار المدافعين، لكن بوتمان حسب كلام كريستيانو لاعب دولي، واكيد لاعب في طبعا لاعب دولي، يعني لاعب في منتخب هولندا. نتمنى ان شاء الله يعني انه يكون اذا كان فعلا هي الصفقه المتوقعه، انه يكون ان شاء الله على حد الامل او المتوقع منه ان شاء الله. Next, Chris.
No, Dave needs to comment. We've
Okay, Dave.
we've been,
No,
we've
Because
been
I have
silencing
article
Dave.
as well. I have article as well. But yeah, go on, Dave.
I agree with everything Chris has said about the players that were after, whether it's Botman. Yes, he's been compared to ex-Man City players, and he's got some pedigree, and he could be the man that helps get us set up. But what I wouldn't want to see is we're bringing in players who we're hoping will do this. We need players we know can do this. And my only problem with Botman is that is he that experienced to be able to be that sort of player that we need? But I'm willing to give anybody a try who wants to come and do that. Anybody who signs, whether it's Trippier, Botman, we need somebody who's going to come in and not be like Wijnaldum, who came with us last time, and then after 2 seasons, then jumped the ship, and went to Liverpool to ply his trade. So yeah, there's still a chance Wijnaldum might come back, but no, I think Botman's a good one. And I also think Trippier. I think Trippier could be the one that gets us started. When he comes in, and I'm saying when because it still hasn't been confirmed. If and when he comes in, he could be the catalyst that we need. He could be the catalyst that we need because it's the defense which is struggling. And if he comes in there and gives us a bit of strength back there, that could be the catalyst.
Yeah, exactly, Dave. That reminds me of something I didn't mention about the first article that I shared from The Athletic. They were saying exactly that. The problem that Newcastle is facing is that a number of players want to be assured that they are like the caliber that Newcastle wants to bring in. So it's like they kind of want to know who else are you bringing in? Are they on my level? And that these players don't want to sign unless they know that the other players that they're bringing in are of their quality or better.
Yeah.
But it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell everyone the same thing. If you've got Botman and Trippier is like, well, who else do we bring in? And they're saying, well, Botman. And then you're telling Botman, who else are you bringing in? Trippier. And sort of it kind of becomes like a Ponzi scheme a little bit in terms of you having to promise everyone else that you're bringing in the quality of that player without anyone. So it's really essential that we get that Trippier across the line as that first signing, and then the Botman to be like that statement signing to really show the players who are sort of on the fence, yes, that the Newcastle has that intent and the ability to get not just the intent, but the ability to execute. So many like the story of past transfer windows was, oh well, we tried and we just couldn't get that player across the line or in the door.
Yeah.
We need the players in the door. We need the players across the line, and that will convince other players to come in if we can announce Trippier, announce Botman. That'll get these other. I keep forgetting. We're after two guys with the same last name. I think both French. One plays for Barcelona and the other plays for
Dembele.
Dembele. Yeah,
Um,
there's Musa and there's two Dembeles. So it's kind of like, who are we telling Musa Dembele that we're going to bring in? You know, we need to bring them in to get those guys in first.
Yeah. Yeah.
طبعا ملخص اللي قاله كريس وديف يتكلم، يعني ديف يتكلم عن خبرة بوتمان، يعني إنه بس القلق الوحيد على بوتمان انه هل هو خبير او عنده خبرة، يعني يعني تعرف الدوري الانجليزي غير دوري يعني دوري صعب، فهل عنده الخبرة اللازمة او الكافية؟ هذا كونسير او يعني من ديف. طبعا برضو كريس يقول انه التوقيع الاول راح يفرق معانا، يعني مثلا لو وقعنا مع كيرن تريبير راح يجذب باقي اللاعبين انه يعني او يخففون شوي في شروط موضوع العقد، انه يهبطوا موضوع الهبوط، انه لو هبط اللي تكلمنا فيه من شوي، لما نجيب لاعبين كبار هذا الشيء يجذب اللاعبين الكبار الاخرين. هذه فكرة يعني من هذا النقاش الذي دار قبل قليل. next article, Chris.
Okay, the next article, let's see, we're going to go with let's go with the Simon Jones from the Mail Online. It's the Botman story. Yes. So along the lines we were just talking about, we're apparently willing to pay £30 million for Sven Botman, the highly rated Dutch defender. And it sounds like with Trippier, the player wants to come to Newcastle. So it's just a question of, are owners willing to pay the money, and our team that's like the interim team as director of football, let's call them the front office, the front office, the guys upstairs, are they able to get this deal done? Because yes, Dave has said that he has some reservations about Botman. Is he tested? He's won a Ligue 1 championship with Lille last season. So he's shown that he can go up against the likes of Paris Saint-Germain and Mbappe and those kind of players. And we've seen the highlight reels of him. And obviously we want to sign players that are more than just a YouTube highlight reel. But he shows real intent as a real commanding young player that's really good and shutting down opposing attacks. And we really obviously we need an overhaul of all of our defenders. If we replace all four of our back line, that would be a good thing in this, probably unrealistic in this window, but we need really sort of an overhaul. Everyone we've had in our defense has been the same defense since the last time we were in the championship. So it's like we haven't upgraded our center backs, we haven't upgraded our wing backs since then. And we can't keep asking Matt Ritchie and Murphy to play out of position when they're more attacking players, and we're asking them to play wing back.
Yeah.
طبعا هذه مقالة من الديلي ميل، الكاتب أو الصحفي سيمون جونز يتكلم عن سبب تسارع الصفقة. يعني في تسارع لصفقة بوتمان، تحدث أنه تقريبا المبلغ قد يكون 30 مليون. طبعا اللاعب ستيفن بوتمان الهولندي، المدافع الهولندي، 30 مليون تكون قيمة للاعب. يعني احنا كلنا نسمع انه الفترة السابقة كنا نسمع تورفسكي من بيرلي، بس الحين لا، في تسارع لأخبار انه قد يتم توقيع بوتمان مقابل هذا المبلغ يعني قريبا جدا. يعني هو يمكن اقرب مدافع لانضمام نيوكاسل مع كيرن تريبير طبعا، بس احنا نتكلم عن قلوب الدفاع. Okay, next article.
Let's go with Kieran Kelly from the Chronicle.
All right. What's about it? Newcastle have 8-figure life in January transfer window amid owners' tireless efforts.
Yeah, so basically, it's sort of going inside the, as I'm calling it, Newcastle's front office, and basically saying that when they say eight figures, they mean like tens of millions of pounds. 7-figure being a million, so 8 figures being like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 80 million. And very clearly, I think maybe they conservatively expected to spend about 50 million pounds in this window, but then having injuries to having Callum Wilson out for so long means that we've got to bring in a top line striker rather than just a backup. A number 2. We need a number 1 striker to be brought in, and then where did Waleed go? So basically, I don't know if you agree, Dave, that I don't expect us to spend 100 million, but it sounds like it's going to be closer to 100 million than it was the 50 million conservatively talked about before.
Yeah, wait, it touched with in line with that piece you've got there, Chris. You know, if you look at the statement that came out from Amanda and Mehrdad yesterday, you know, what was that statement? They said,
it's a tough window, but we're going to do what it takes.
Despite the current challenges, we see a bright and ultimately successful future for Newcastle United. The club has amazing fans. It has serious long-term investors, and the club has a workforce committed to getting the best from both the football and the city. And obviously it goes on to say, we look back at the last 12 months, and of course we're delighted to finally complete the purchase of the club. But they are saying, and they continue that commitment that they are going to spend, and they will make the future better. And that's what they're looking for. That it's not for the now, it's for the future. So that could mean, like what you were saying before, there might be a couple of purchases, but certainly in the now, it might be better if we did have the loan signings, and it depends on how much those loan signings are asking for. You know what I mean? Yeah. Some of the figures they've been asking for the loan signings have been like, you know, 10-12 million pounds for a loan signing.
Okay, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, and that's ridiculous. That but like I said, Amanda and Mehrdad's statement yesterday coincides with that very article from the Chronicle, you know, and I think that's what we're about.
Exactly, and this idea that we're going to have to probably bring in 2 strikers, and you know, 2 strikers in January is a very tall task, because it's like the question is who's available. Are we going to get them for like not a ridiculous price? Because, you know, everyone knows that Newcastle needs 2 strikers now. Everyone can see that Wilson is out, and they know Wilson is very fragile. So we knew going into the window we had to get 1 striker, and I hope they had people lined up for that. It sort of sounds like with Wilson's injury that kind of caught them a little bit by surprise, which it shouldn't catch them by surprise. I mean,
well, we all knew he was injury prone.
Yes, if they could bring in 1 striker on a permanent deal and another striker on a loan, that might do it, because having to spend money on 2 strikers, permanent deals, would sort of bust their whole transfer budget in 2 players. And of course, we've talked about, we need to build from the back, so we need to bring in like 3 defenders, like a midfielder and like 1 or 2 strikers. Yeah, that's a 100 million.
Yeah,
in a normal window.
Sky are still pushing with this idea that Aubameyang might be a target, and it could well be. You know, he could well be a loan signing to get him through the transfer window.
I'd have him. I'd have him, Dave. I know he's been very in the tank. He kind of tanked this season, but that guy is a talented guy, and maybe playing for a relegation battle will sort of light a fire in him. Sort of, he's got something to prove, and maybe he's there's that proving with Newcastle. I would love to have Aubameyang in either as a permanent signing or as probably more likely as a loan deal.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be a loan deal. I would think we'll get him for.
Lee, are you an Aubameyang? Would you have Aubameyang?
Oh yeah, sure. In a heartbeat, as Newcastle says.
In a heartbeat, yeah.
Sorry, I will translate what you said, but I have internet issues just a while ago. So
we're aware of that.
Yeah. So what I catch that كيرن كيلي from Chronicle طبعا عنده يتكلم على انه 8 figure، يعني انه تقريبا يعني قصد الحد الاقصى تقريبا مليونين 99 مليون 99 مليون يعني 8 figure يعني 99 مليون قصده هذه قيمة الصفقات. سوري كريس.
I was going to say, basically what I was saying is that it's going to be having to spend closer to 100 million than the 50 million that Amanda had sort of thought of going into this, because we need 2 strikers.
انه يحتاجون يعني تقريبا مهاجمين طبعا، خصوصا يعني لانه صار في قلق بعد اصابه ويلسون وماكسيمان، فصار التحول فجاه كذا توقعات انه لا مو بس نحتاج مدافعين، نحتاج مهاجمين. تخيلوا نقضي الشهرين الجايه بدون مهاجمين زي يعني مثلا ويلسون وماكسيمان اللي ممكن يغيبون فتره طويله يعني. فعشان كذا صار في الكلام الحين على انه صار نيوكاسل يحتاج مهاجمين، وبرضه يتكلم على انه يعني تقريبا نيوكاسل راح ينفق نصف المبلغ المحدد له للإنفاق. يستطيع نيوكاسل طبعا لديه 200 مليون زي ما قلنا سابقا، لكن التوقعات انه راح يكون الانفاق ما بين 60، طبعا ما اتوقع 60، اتوقع الماكسيموم ممكن يكون 100 مليون باوند. طبعا هذا هو ملخص كلام كيرن كيلي من كرونيكل. ديف يقول في خبر انه ما زال في قد يكون في اعاره للاعب أوباميانغ الذي يخوض مشاكل حاليا مع أرسنال ومدربه ارتيتا، فشيء جميل لو نحصل على أوباميانغ إعارة كمهاجم، يكون طبعا يعني خبر أكيد يعني بيكون خبر قوي جدا إن شاء الله، يعني نحصل على أوباميانغ أو مهاجم أفضل من أوباميانغ. Unfortunately, because my situation here is I'm not well prepared. My phone will die in a few minutes, so I will try to find the location. So I'm sorry, I can't translate the next article, but you can choose the next article and then try to find a spot to charge my phone and continue the show.
Okay, so let's do George Calkin.
George Calkin. No.
Done.
No. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So go on, Chris, and I'm gonna find a place to charge my phone.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay, so basically saying what a year it's been, and it's sort of very, very, very classic Newcastle that we end the year maybe almost as unsettled as we began it with under Mike Ashley. So we got rid of Mike Ashley, but sort of the ghost of Mike Ashley is sort of largely responsible for putting us in this sort of going into 2022. I have to get used to saying this. Really kind of uncertainty about the future of the club, because so much is riding on staying up this season and continuing the project from the Premier League and not from the Championship. So it's really a question of, okay, so Newcastle obviously accomplished a lot this year and just getting rid of Mike Ashley and bringing in the PIF led consortium, but it's sort of from the high of October, we're sort of got a reality check of, okay, so we didn't get we held on to Bruce for 13 more days. So and then we brought in Eddie Howe after sort of a protracted managerial search, where we were looking at, of course, other managers that didn't work out. So we're very happy to have Eddie Howe, but it's sort of like he wasn't sort of given that new manager bounce because of Newcastle's position, and just sort of the squad that we've been left with under Ashley was just not Premier League quality. May have been good enough to scrape staying up on the past, even though we say, well, we finished 12th last season with the same squad, so shouldn't we be able to be around that position? I think the blessing of this season is that there's such a gulf between to use the Saudi phrase, there's such a gulf between the top 2 or 3 teams and then like the rest of the league, that there's really not a lot of separation, even with all of these canceled matches. There's not a lot of separation between sort of the bottom 5 or 6. So we're within touching distance. If we can get a win of our next 2 matches, we don't play again until January 15th. If we can win our next 2 matches, we could be potentially out of the relegation zone straight away based on the position of the teams above us. So that's, it's sort of like we've been saying, dire position, but just get Newcastle just on a little bit of a run, and we're clear. And the question is, can we stay clear? And of course, you'd expect that with new signings. So it's critical that we get the first half of the window. All right, Waleed, our host, is back.
He's back.
So we don't have another match, Waleed, until the 15th of January. If we can get signings bedded in through the door across the line before the 15th, then we'd be in good position to play Watford. And Watford, again, we've heard it so many times, is a relegation rival. It's a 6-pointer, a huge match that we need to get 2 wins, and we'll be out of the relegation zone. So it's critical that we get those signings in before the 15th, so that we can have them play against Watford, win the Watford match, and then the next match is against Leeds. If we can win those 2 matches, sort of we can control our own destiny, and we haven't controlled our own destiny for a long time.
Yeah, the thing is with getting the players in, and like you're saying, Eddie Howe didn't get the new manager bounce because of what had happened and what had gone on, protracted negotiations. But it was right to get the right manager in, and I think they've done that. But by the amazing turnaround he's done with Joe Linton, so he's done what many of us thought couldn't be done. We didn't think that Joe Linton would come good. He has come good. He has come good, and I think that a lot of that is down to Eddie Howe. So yes, we've got Eddie in. He's done this now, but as well, when Howe started, he also had COVID. He came into a situation where he had COVID, and he couldn't train the players. He couldn't attend the matches. So yeah, we didn't have that bounce. But the situation where we are now, we, like you said, we're not too far away. We haven't been cut adrift. There's still a chance we could catch. Even like I said on on Wednesday, there's still a chance, I think, of us catching Everton. And getting, because I don't think they're out of it, and that's why they bought a player today, because they realise the fact that they've got too many injuries. They've got players they're going to have to get off the books because of the financial fair play. Yeah. So I think but the thing is, I think we can catch them. And another thing with Leeds, it was announced yesterday with Leeds that 2 of their best players, Cooper, their team captain, and Calvin Phillips, they're out injured
Yeah.
until March. And also this morning, apparently, Roma, is it Roma? One of the Italian teams, or after Rafinha.
Yeah.
So if he leaves, then that's the backbone of Leeds' team done.
We should get Rafinha. I have some breaking news from Sky and Craig Hope. We've been waiting on Kieran Trippier. The news is not that he's signed, but we had heard the last base reports was that Atletico Madrid had been yet to receive a formal bid from Newcastle for Trippier, and that Sky is now reporting, and Craig Hope confirms that a formal bid for Kieran Trippier has been submitted to Atletico Madrid. So it seems like all indications are that the deal is about to be done, and that Kieran Trippier will be on his way to Tyneside, holding up the kit in St. James's Park without all this Sports Direct. We've been waiting for that, to have a big signing without all the Sports Directs crap.
Sorry, Chris. يعني pardon, I didn't have my earphone, but I catch that Kieran Trippier news. The contract will be signed already.
No, the reporting from Sky, confirmed by Craig Hope, is that Newcastle has made a formal bid. Up until now, Atletico was saying, well, maybe Trippier will go, but we don't have a bid from Newcastle. Sky Sports and Craig Hope from the Daily Mail are now reporting that Newcastle has formally submitted the bid for Kieran Trippier.
طبعا خبر عاجل من سكاي سبورت. كيران تريبير في اتلتيكو مدريد حصل على، طبعا النادي يعني حصل على العرض الرسمي، يعني تم تقديم العرض الرسمي للحصول على كيران تريبير. يعني اتوقع خلال maybe matter of hours كيران تريبير first signing.
Don't know what that. We don't want to say imminent or all these confidence or all those.
No.
All those phrases from the era of the takeover are gone. But yes, it's looking more likely. Yeah.
That's a great news. Hopefully, Newcastle make formal bid for Trippier. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
All right. And so then for the final article that I have, no, doubles again. Doubles.
Yeah, you know.
To our Leeds. Hi, our Leeds.
You know, I miss my Trippier. I miss my Trippier, you know.
Speaking of Craig Hope, the last article we have is from Craig Hope, and it's basically saying that the Premier League will not change the rules on COVID-led postponements, despite managers and pundits slamming decisions to call off games for injuries over the festive period. I always love the headlines in the Daily Mail, because the headline is always like the full story. So basically, we've heard, what was it? Southampton, Hassan Hoodle, and people have been complaining that their match was called off against Newcastle. And it's sort of we're in a new world where it's not just we're not just counting COVID absences, but we're counting COVID absences plus injuries. We've never counted injuries in the past for a reason to call up a match, but sort of the combination in this brave new world, the combination of COVID absences, which can't be, you can't do anything about that. There's just mandatory self-isolation, which I guess even has been cut from 10 days to 5 days. But so we can't do anything about the COVID absences, but to count injuries as a reason to not play is something that the Premier League is standing behind, despite the protests of Southampton and other clubs. That I don't know what you think, Dave, but you think that it's just about Newcastle being a strengthened squad in the January window, and that the next time they'll play the makeup game, it'll be a different Newcastle team?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's more than that?
No, I think you're right with that, Chris. I think it's very much that reason. A lot of the team, certainly the two teams who've been whinging, their fans are saying exactly that. You know, when it comes to play Newcastle, and maybe Newcastle should only be allowed to play those players that had on the books at the time the game should have been played.
The other club was Everton.
Nobody's ever done that before.
Yeah.
You know, but it also somebody on Twitter, I can't remember his name. Somebody on Twitter posted the actual rule from the Premier League regarding the postponements, and the rule clearly states it's down to COVID, it's down to injuries, it's down to any other COVID linked, so that's like isolations and stuff like that. It's also down to you have to be able to play your 13 players plus one goalkeeper, and in that in those players you can include appropriately experienced, and that's the other words, appropriately experienced under 21 players.
We don't have any of those.
But we don't have any of those. We don't have any of those. So we are down to 12 players at the moment. We've got 12 players off that list. And of those 12 players, there's 3 goalkeepers.
Yeah.
There's 3 goalkeepers. We've got 3 fit goalkeepers. So we're gonna play the goalkeepers.
As the sweeper keeper.
So it's the integrity of the Premier League. They've got to uphold the integrity of the Premier League. You can't be asking. That's the thing. On Monday night we had a goalkeeper, 2 goalkeepers on the bench.
Yeah. Just
to make up as many numbers as we possibly could. Yet this doesn't. Southampton and Everton don't seem to realise that. But the same goes. Didn't hear Southampton or Everton kicking off when their other games had got postponed. It's just because they've played Newcastle, where they think they've got a point of that they could take us to the cleaners, you know, and beat us 9-0, was what Southampton was saying, and that they get 3 points. The fact is that they're accusing us of manipulating the rules and cheating. Now, there's nothing further from the truth. Read the rules, and we are following the rules.
Yes, I predicted this exact scenario that these teams who had games canceled against Newcastle, and Newcastle was probably like one of the last clubs to have any of their matches canceled. Everyone else around us was having 2, 3, 4 matches canceled, and we were meant to play our full load of Liverpool, Manchester City, Man United back to back with our weak squad. And I predicted. I said the clubs that we get are going to ask for Newcastle to have to play rescheduled matches with their existing pre-January transfer window squad, and of course it's like. If you wrote that, people wouldn't believe you, but it's like the truth is stranger than fiction.
But the thing is, what would they do if we sell half of those players in the January transfer window? Are we going to have to ask for the buying club? We need them back because Southampton want us to use their, you know, that's how ridiculous. That's how ridiculous.
Can you please bring back Jeff Hendrick for one match?
طيب متى تتوقعون كيران تريبير يعني ينضم رسميا لنيوكاسل؟
What is your message? I'm normally good at reading Arabic, but
No, you know, I'm just joking. I was trying to speak in Arabic. So when do you...
That's why it went over my head.
So when do you think the deal will be signed, Kieran Trippier? When? today, tomorrow,
Monday.
Monday.
Monday is a bank holiday, so yeah, why not Monday?
طيب يتوقعون انه يعني كريس وديف يتوقعون انه يوم الاثنين طبعا يوم البنك the takeover takeover the bank holiday. طبعا يتوقعون انه في يوم الاثنين يوم البنك او عطلة البنك في انجلترا انه يكون في الاعلان الرسمي. It was saying breaking news. Newcastle, Atletico Madrid have received the official offer or official bid to have Kieran Trippier services here.
I think you missed our latest discussion.
You got again.
I jinxed them. I was going to say that of course Monday is arbitration day Monday.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like how so we're finally arriving at January 3rd on Monday. How it feels like ages ago that was the date that was.
Yeah. What's his name? I think Adam Luiz something. I think.
Adam Lewis. Yeah.
That was going to be the day. Yeah, and I remember at the time, people were saying, "Oh well, that wasn't a serious date." They because people quickly realized that January 3rd was a bank holiday, and there'd be no court proceedings on a bank holiday. So people sort of
I remember. When he said
January 3rd,
when he said to our I remember when he's with Joel, our lawyer Joel, and he said, "Oh no, don't speak about that." Anyway, brilliant. So okay, so Monday, hopefully before, but
yes,
I can't.
It'd be
Monday.
Great to sign Trippier on our bank holiday Monday, arbitration Monday.
Arbitration Monday.
So ironic, so ironic.
Yeah. Yes, ironic. For me, as you said, guys, earlier, regarding Kieran Trippier, for me, he's a great player. He's the right back for England team. And for me, I like him before he was so much trendy player. He was a great player in Tottenham. Before, I remember when I watched him the Champions League final against Liverpool. He was amazing.
Yes.
Me, after that game, he got offered from Atletico Madrid. So I have more respect for Simone because he really a good player. Maybe things now not good. I don't know what's going on in Spain. I'm not watching the league, but I believe maybe something World Cup related. Anyway, I would like to say welcome, Kieran Trippier. Welcome to Newcastle. Welcome to the Town. But before I say that, someone said to me before the show. I don't know if I put the picture or not. Yeah, he said some Chelsea trying to sign Kieran Trippier because James injury or something. Have you heard anything about that?
We're going to have competition. I mean, that's a given. If he wants to come back to the UK, wants to come back to England, a lot of people would want to have Trippier on their team. He is 31, so a lot of players would say. A lot of teams would sort of have our old policy of only signing players under 25 and not giving players over 30 like the time of day. But what was I going to say? For Trippier, it's not just his defensive skills, but he's really amazing on set pieces. And if you think that John J. Shelby, who puts in like 1 out of every 10 free kicks or corners that he does, is a good effort. Kieran Trippier is like the master of the set piece of the free kick, and he would slide right into that. And we would say John Joe Shelby who.
I just got this. It's from our friend Nelly. She said could be a great hint. Trippier with his black and white love.
Yeah, if you look at you have to click on the picture, and the picture enlarges in the top right-hand corner. You can just see it. There's a black and white love heart.
Yeah, could it be a sign or something?
That's what they're saying. You know, it could be a sign. That's what they're
Yani,
saying.
that was yesterday, last night.
Yeah. So,
This is Kieran Trippier saying, "I'm coming home, Newcastle."
I think we found out from Nick DeMarco that all that bread was just bread.
Yeah.
no.
So we went too much into Nick DeMarco's black and white photography or his bread making.
Yeah.
طيب طبعا كيرن تريبير يعني خلاص يعني تقريبا اقتربت الصفقة بشكل كبير جدا، مع انه في منافس من تشيلسي بسبب اصابة جيمس لاعب الظهير الايمن اللي تعرض لاصابة في مباراة تشيلسي الاخيرة، لكن نعتقد يعني كيرن تريبير يعني اقرب صفقة بتكون نيوكاسل، وتوقعت ان شاء الله يوم الاثنين بانتهاء يعني خلاص يعني نعد نفكر عاد باللاعب اللي بعده. We are not gonna waste يعني our January يعني for me I believe خلاص Kieran Trippier is our player, so let's think of the next one.
With that picture though, I'll make it clear that it's been constructed, because there'll be some people think that's a real picture.
Yeah.
Actually, when I saw it, I thought so.
You thought so, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. So what's next? What next, Chris?
That's it.
That's
Don't
it.
know.
We've
That's
covered
it.
it all, Waleed.
Yeah, because you
You
kept this
missed
together.
you missed half the show.
Yeah, it's like for me, that I did, I put a set outside and it was raining and my charger it's I miss my studio really.
This is what
But
happens.
this is New Year first day, so I think people will excuse me for my mistakes.
Yes, you're always excused. Our lead is a Geordie.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chris, I know we were busy, and let's discuss it live if you don't mind. Let's make a show.
You broke it.
What do you think?
You broke
No,
it.
no, I didn't. It rolled off my sofa, but it's intact.
You broke something?
No,
I heard it drop on the floor. I thought, hey, he's broken already.
no, it rolled onto my bag, so it had soft landing.
Chris, we didn't discuss this. We didn't discuss this really. I mean, let's discuss it live if you don't mind. So we decide to make a show.
Yes.
Daily show, 5 minutes. Can we do that? 5 minute daily to the updated transfer window. This is special show, 30 days in January. 30 days. We're gonna do it daily, 5 minutes. Just
if your internet holds up, I will leave. Otherwise, I'll just be holding the bag myself.
What's that?
I said, as long as you have good internet and you don't drop out, because the 5 minute show might be just me waiting on camera and making jokes, waiting for you to come back on. Our day.
No, that's what. Yeah, that will not happen. But because it's like as he said, it was different circumstances here. So, what do you think of this idea, Chris? Is it good?
Yes, let's. It's on. Let's do it. And
5 minute daily. 5 minute daily. Can you do that?
It might be hard to hold me to 5 minutes, but
5 to 10 minutes. But I will call it 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So people, because
sometimes 5, sometimes 15. Yeah.
Okay. طبعا راح انا وكريس طبعا and Dave welcome if you want to join. We're gonna do daily 5 minutes updates. طبعا راح نقوم بعمل 5 دقائق يوميا مباشرة، راح نتكلم فيها فقط بأخبار صفقات طبعا نيوكاسل القادمة إن شاء الله. طبعا هذا الشيء إن شاء الله راح نسويه يعني بدءا starting from tonight, Chris.
Tonight. Okay.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah, even there is no signing, we'll do the latest, just the latest.
So
yeah, in 5 minutes.
You're going to call it Al Waleed's Transfer Centre.
Oh, that's nice. No, I will. To be fair, I will say Waleed and Christopher, because Christopher doing great job. Really,
I know.
and for the show today, I never do anything. I just open my link and I just take what Chris sent me, because I was busy with the New Year and I never slept much. It's but Christopher did all the work, really.
Only Keith Roll said hello to me on the comments. All the other comments are hi, Waleed. It's like, hi, I'm here too.
I was just about to say, I'm sure I was here as well when he kept disappearing. I was contributing to the show as well when he kept disappearing. It wasn't just a Chris show.
Yeah, come on.
Chris, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think of Dave suggestion? Waleed and Chris transfer center. Right?
Center. Yeah, the transfer center.
Waleed and Chris transfer centers daily, 5 minutes.
Transfer Central, like Newcastle Central Station. Transfer Central.
Transfer Central. You're in London and he's in Dubai. Wait, he's in
Riyadh. No, tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be back. Tomorrow I will be back to Saudi Arabia. So what time? Let's discuss. What time should we do it this daily? We need a fixed time. Tell me time in UK, because in UK time, what time?
7.
7?
Yeah, 7 is kind of like
7 UK. 7 UK?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant for me. And I think, maybe some news sometimes Chris come at 8 with the Sky News. Remember, Chris? Remember, Dave, when we were at Alan Shearer Bar? Remember?
The transfer center. I'm just going to go in. The transfer center. I think that's 7 o'clock every day. That's 7 o'clock at night. So you might want to do it.
No. When we were in Alan Shearer Bar, I think Sky Sports report at 8 UK something. They have a news.
Yeah, it's the Sky Sports news. But on a weekday during the transfer window, they have a transfer window update on Sky at 7 o'clock.
Okay, so should we do ours after? At 8 o'clock then? 8 o'clock?
Wait, even
7:30?
You'll get the headlines.
7:30 is good. 7:30. Okay.
I was going to say you'll be better off at 7:30 because you're going to get the headlines.
Okay.
At 7, and then from that until then it comes off at 7:30. It finishes at 7:30.
Yeah,
that's
going to get the news then.
Doesn't mean. That doesn't mean.
Have your tea, and then.
No, wait, Chris. That doesn't mean we will gonna steal from Sky Sport and that's it. We have another sources.
No, we're not going to. All sources, but sources. But the thing is, Sky just report they get their stories from other websites and other news.
So I am happy. I'm happy with 7:30, Chris. Are you? Or are you on?
7:30, yes.
And Dave, you are welcome to join. طبعا قررنا. We just discussed this now. We didn't discuss it before. These details. We just discuss it live. See? Okay. So طبعا إن شاء الله خلاص يوميا 7:30 إن شاء الله.
Transparency. Another. We just want transparency. Another catchphrase from the takeover.
So not transparency.
Transparency. Yes. Let's do that. Transparency.
All right. Okay. So we have now just name a show. It's called Transparency. Not Transparency Premier League. Transparency.
Yes. Good job.
So 7:30 بتوقيت انجلترا، يعني 10:30 تقريبا توقيت السعوديه. كل يوم ان شاء الله 10:30 راح نجيب اخر اخبار الصفقات ان شاء الله في لمده شهر يوميا 5 دقائق ان شاء الله مع كريس وديف طبعا اذا كان طبعا متواجد. I forget actually I have some article here in Arabic. Yeah. And we'll make it last thing today. All right. High Kora, it's like high football. They just translated Sport Catalonia from news from Barcelona. They're talking about Newcastle deal for Dembele, for Uthman Dembele, which Newcastle, according to that Sport Catalonia newspaper, they offer €20 million a year plus 20 million for signing, plus 12 million as commission to his agent. I'm just translating what he reading. The weird thing about this offer, a huge offer for Dembele and his agent, they refuse. They want 30 million as per year, 30 million as a bonus, 15 million euro as an agent. The question is, why? Who will gonna pay this for some player who got injured most of the year? This is the only Arabic news I read about Newcastle. What do you think, lads?
It's just their bargaining position, isn't it? Their opening bargaining position. You know, we're talking about 20 million, they're talking about 30 million. If it happens, it'll come down, you know. So it's just paper talk, media. You know, we only believe in what the football club tell us. Let's not get involved with what other people are saying. And that's the way I look at it now. I'm leaving it to the, you know, I've said I'll leave it to Amanda and Mirdad and Mr. Al Rumian, and they're the people who make the decisions. They're the people who make the bids, which is what they've done this morning, you know. And I'm happy just to wait. We've always been Newcastle. One of the things we've always had with being a Newcastle supporter, every year we get linked with everybody. Everybody wants to sign with Newcastle. Newcastle are going to sign everybody. And we never have. Even before Mike Ashley, that was never the case. Never ever did we sign as many players. And the fact is, when the day we signed Alan Shearer, you know, that just came out of the blue. That came out of the blue. Nobody knew about it because the football club said the first you'll hear about it is when it's done. And that to me that's what we wait for. So all these stories about Umtiti, about Dembele, about Aubameyang, it's in the paper. It might be something to spark an interest, but other than that, that's all it is.
I agree.
All right. So what you were gonna do on first day of a new year, Chris? For me, I still haven't decided yet, but
yeah, I might just be glued to Sky Sports. They don't seem to be having the transfer stuff on yet, but yeah, I'd like to see a signing today. In time
all
for
right.
our first. Yeah.
So, Chris, we are gonna do the show today, 7:30.
Yes.
Yeah. Even if we didn't have something, we'll just sum up what happened today.
Yes.
Yes. Brilliant. So, Dave, what you were gonna do first thing in the new year?
I put on 8 pounds in weight over the Christmas period. So I put on 8 pounds in weight.
Okay.
So I'm starting. Yeah. I'm restarting my diet today. I'm restarting my diet today. So that's me. My New Year's resolution. I'm going to lose more weight. I've already lost 4.5 stone. Where I put.
All right.
But you know, I want to lose more weight. I want to be.
You know. For me, I happen to lose a lot of weights, but since my knee injury, I have a lot of weights. Anyway, my advice to you is just cut the bread.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's easier said than done. Yet.
I did that once, and amazing, and I'm planning to do it again. But I don't know when.
Well, I'm starting today. That's me starting today from New Year, and then waiting for that, exactly, waiting for things like that to happen.
Yeah,
Kevin Trippier on a black and white strip.
Yeah, that was our celebration yesterday. Just want to say thank you to Ian and the lads and the lasses for the evening last night. It was amazing celebration, and as we congratulate Chris, mashallah, he's multi nationalities. So he's Christopher. I think he should be the new agent for Newcastle. And please, if you have any Greek players there, please.
We should bring back Nikos Dabizas to a role like in the club. Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna see you tonight 7:30 UK. نراكم الليلة 10:30 بتوقيت السعودية. 5 دقائق مع آخر أخبار الانتقالات لنادي نيوكاسل. Happy New Year everyone. سنة سعيدة للجميع. نشكركم للمتابعة. Thank you for watching. I apologize for my a lot of technical issues, but I wasn't very prepared, but thank Chris and Dave for helping me to sort this show. Enjoy first day, the new year, and Happy New Year, lads. How are the lads? We're not gonna be relegated, and we just start the good things just yet to come.
Yes. See you, boys.
See ya.
See you.
All the best.
Bye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.